Should your company focus on going viral with your video content? In this episode, I'm going to talk about going viral and how it could potentially hurt your business. And then I'm going to talk about some of the ways that we coach our clients here at the Video Lab. Not necessarily going viral, even though that might happen, but really turning your video content into a 24/7 sales machine, sales force. This is the Video Lab show. I'm your host, Caleb, founder of the Video Lab, where we help businesses grow with consistent video. Businesses, personal brands, companies that want to use educational style video to actually grow their brand and, get the word out, create awareness, build trust, all those things when it comes to video content. I'm here in the Video Lab right now. We have a content studio that has 3 pre-built video sets where it's really a turnkey experience for people coming in to record podcasts, YouTube videos, short form content, all those things that are in that educational thought leadership realm. So this is something that I've kind of been thinking about a lot lately based off a couple conversations that I've had. The goal of what we do here at the Video Lab is not to get you to go viral. I've kind of talked about this a little bit. Even though that might happen, the purpose of what we do here at the Video Lab is to actually help you make more money. That's ultimately, as a business owner, that's what you want. You want to make more money and generate revenue, create warm leads, those types of things. I personally think if your sole focus when it comes to your video content, if your sole focus is to go viral, that's a very slippery slope, especially as a company, as a business, or having like a personal brand, those types of things. It's a very slippery slope because, if you focus on going viral, you're always going to have to outdo the previous video. And then when that doesn't happen, you don't see those numbers go up. It gets a little frustrating. You're wondering what's happening. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't use viral aspects to incorporate into your videos to generate sales. There's usually a reason that videos go viral, and you want to use those elements, those hooks, or whatever it might be. You want to use those things in your videos, but the sole purpose of your videos, at least from what we do here at the Video Lab, is not necessarily to go viral. But with all that being said, I'm not against going viral. That can do wonders for awareness. So I'm not against going viral. And this is not like a should you only do this or only do that type of conversation that we're having. This is definitely if you happen to go viral, fantastic. That creates a lot of awareness. I'm not against doing that. What I am saying in this is that should not be your primary focus as a business owner or as a personal brand, whatever that looks like for you and your company. Because here's the thing, you're not a content creator, you're a business owner. You want to make money. That should be your focus with your video content. If you get your business to a point where you can just focus on the content and being a content creator, fantastic. That's great. But you have a lot of stuff to do, right? You have a lot of things on your plate as a founder, a personal brand, a business owner, especially if you're doing some of the actual work for your business. If you are a little bit more of an operator when it comes to your business, you have a lot on your plate, and trying to one up your previous video all the time, I think could be a very slippery slope. I'm going to share a couple examples based on some conversations that I've had recently, about the risk that you run when you do go viral. And then after that, I'm just going to talk about a few things that we coach our clients through when it comes to videos and making videos, whether it's here or at your own studio, wherever that's at, making videos that actually get results, You're not just chasing views. You're not just chasing, we use the term in this industry a lot in video marketing, like vanity metrics, right? It's the views, the likes. That's not what we're chasing. We want leads. We want more money for our company. That's what we're doing. So a couple conversations that I had with, people that hit viral, it was, on Instagram, hit viral, creating a ton of awareness. However, what they said when we were having this conversation was, yeah, we had a video go viral. I don't know if that's what we want to be known for. So what happened in that video, they don't necessarily know if that topic or conversation in that viral video, they don't know if that's something that they want to be known for. So you kind of run a risk when you focus on going viral and getting those views. You run a risk of like doing content, making content that isn't necessarily what you want to be known for, because you're doing things in your videos that might not be it, right? There might not be about your product or your service that you offer. It might just be like a random thing that happens in that videos that goes viral that you might not want to be known for. And sometimes when that happens, a lot of eyeballs get on that video, and you know where people go when they get eyeballs on the video? They go to the comments, right? Some of the comments might be good, but then some of those things in the comments, people kind of get the wrong impression. They take the video the wrong way. For your business, that could be some bad exposure. Again, I'm not against going viral. It can be good exposure. It can be good for your business, but going viral doesn't always mean good. So some of the comments on this viral video turned ugly, kind of gave a bad look for this company. And then what I did with a follow-up question in this conversation is like, that's fantastic, you went viral. Have you generated any leads? And what they told me is after even, close to 1 million views on this one video, close to 1 million views, 0 leads. Partially because it was not reaching the right people. It was getting a lot of eyeballs. It was creating conversation, maybe not good conversation. It was creating conversation, but what happened was it wasn't reaching the right people. 0 leads for this business. After 1 million views, 1 million views. Like, can you think, like, that's so many people, right? That's like people, as many people that watch the Super Bowl, like millions of views, 0 leads. So I kind of left that conversation thinking, what are we doing here, right? Like, what is that driving growth for your business? And I hope it does. Like, I hope it generates leads for this company. I hope it creates sales for this company. But sometimes that's the risk that you run when you go viral. First of all, it's not unnecessarily a topic that they want to be known for. It could potentially kind of ruin things in the comment section because people sometimes get crazy in the comments. And third, it wasn't generating any leads. So this is where, like, if you're not a full-time content creator and rely on those views, this is where it gets a little dicey for companies. So in a little bit, I'm just going to share kind of how to change that when it comes to your videos and kind of really dial in how to make your videos actually generate revenue and generate sales. Because again, as business owners, we want to make money, right? We want to make money to grow our business. Here's another story about going viral. Over 2 million views on this one video. And what I noticed about this video is great, creating a ton of awareness, right? Creating a ton of awareness. But again, was it generating leads? In this video in particular, it was kind of like a specific industry in construction, but it was more of like an inside joke when it comes to the construction site. So it was like an inside joke, industry specific inside joke generated a ton of leads. So for this company that, let's say it's a roofing company. I'm not going to give specifics, but let's just, for an example, let's say it's a roofing company. They go viral on a industry specific inside joke. Is it reaching the right people who need a new roof for their house or for their, office building or whatever? That's where we need to be careful when it comes to these viral videos. It's all right to show culture, right? It's all right to have those types of videos. But when it comes down to getting money and to sales, are you speaking to the right people? Are you talking about the right topics? And do you have the structure of videos that will actually get those leads? And so that's what we're going to talk about next in this episode. So here at the Video Lab, when we're coaching and working with our clients, there's several things that we do, but there's 3 things in particular that I want to talk about here in this episode. And these things I think it's not rocket science, but what I've seen through the clients that we work with, but also just like studying video content and video marketing, right? It's like a trend that happens over and over and over with people, that it's not necessarily a style of video. We'll get into that just a little bit, but it's kind of like, well, let me just start with this. Let me just start with the first point when it comes to what we do when we work with clients here at the Video Lab to help them generate leads and revenue, okay, with these types of videos. The number one thing that we're going to look at is like, who exactly are you talking to? So if you have a personal brand and you have a product or service, who is your ideal customer? When it comes down to it, if you could sit across, I actually have a chair right here. You can't see it, but it's off screen. But if I could sit down and talk to my ideal client, like we're having a cup of coffee, who would that be? That's who you make your videos for. So for example, for me, like people with personal brands, right? That want to use video content to generate sales. That is my ideal client. Maybe companies or in-house marketing teams that need the studio to get their CEO on camera, right? My ideal client. The person that I want to sit down across from, have a conversation, talk about my products and services, address their needs that they have, the pain points that they have, the problems, the questions. Who is that specific person? Don't leave that person. Don't veer, try to reach somebody else. If your ideal client is in their 40s and 50s, don't try to talk to teenagers. Don't try to talk to retired people. Talk to those that are in their 40s and 50s. If your ideal client, your ideal customer is somebody that is just moving, from college into the workplace, and you have a specific product or service that addresses the needs and problems that they have, maybe you're a real estate agent and they're looking to buy a house, maybe that's the age group, do not veer from those people. Don't start talking to other people with your videos. Especially if you're just getting started in video content, if you're just getting started making videos, building your personal brand, or whatever that looks like for you, if you're just getting into it right now, do not veer from that audience for a long time. Dial that audience in. Now, this can be a little this can be a little bit of a controversial take. You know, some people are like, "Oh, you need broad awareness. You need to reach as many people as possible." It's kind of like sometimes I think of like a viral video as almost like it's almost like the billboard of video content, right? It's like you don't really know like who is seeing that billboard as you drive by. It's like somebody might look up, somebody might be texting while they drive and they're not looking anywhere. They're seeing ads on Facebook or something or Instagram. So it's like you can't really necessarily dial in who is seeing that video. Sometimes you can with like the comments and things like that, or maybe people who are sharing it or anything kind of in that realm. But viral videos are kind of like the billboard of video. But when you start making your videos for a specific person, that's when like that targeting really comes in. And usually we're working in the realm of like organic video. So if you can reach those people, those specific people first with organic video, and then you can start like basing your ads off of like what's working organically. So that's kind of the direction we take when it comes to video content, but dialing in who that person is, that ideal target client, target customer, ideal viewer, who is that person that you want to talk to? Dial that person in. The second thing that we really focus in on here when we work with clients here at the Video Lab, when we work with clients is, so we talked about, you know, the ideal client, right? Your ideal customer. Second of all is like really focus in on 1 to 3 main topics for your videos and never leave those topics. If you really want to get sales, address a specific problem that you have. Some people call these like content pillars. It's kind of a fancy word to say like these are the 2 things that we talk about over and over and over. So do this for a couple reasons. First of all, your ideal customer has those pain points that you want to just hammer away at. And once those viewers encounter other people that have those same problems, they're going to send your video to them. So it's going to like kind of navigate through this specific audience based on, you know, that topic. And the reason I say like 1 to 3 is because you don't want to start having like 7 different things that you talk about in your videos. I am a huge proponent of just hammering away over and over and over and over again those specific things. An example of this is my personal YouTube channel. So my personal YouTube channel has grown to about 33,000 subscribers, and I talk about a very specific camera brand, the Panasonic Lumix cameras. I'm using one of them right now. I don't really veer away from this, and what has happened is that there's been a kind of a community build around this channel where they come, or maybe somebody new picks up this style of camera. They come to my channel to check out the settings, to go through all the features, to check out the latest lenses that this company has. And what has happened through that is like I offer a free download where somebody can download a color preset for this specific camera brand. And so what has happened now is I have an email list, a customer list of about 25,000 emails. And it all came from talking over and over and over and over again about one specific type of camera. And anytime, and I've tried it, much to my dismay, I've tried it. Try bringing in a different topic on my channel, on my personal channel. Try bringing in a different topic. Those videos always bomb because the videos on that channel, and I need to remember this, and this is what we coach clients on, is this is what my channel is. It's about this specific camera and the community and contributing to the community around that camera. So when it comes to the topics that you pick for your videos, I mean, address the pain points that, going back to that first point, your ideal client, address the pain points that they have with those topics. And then just over and over and over. And then what's going to happen, and brings me to my third point, what's going to happen is that you're going to build such a deep trust with these viewers and this target group that you're focusing on, that they're going to come to you anytime they face this, or they're going to refer others to you anytime their friends or their family faces these same pain points or problems. And one of the ways that we do that is through coaching people to do long form video, kind of like what I'm doing here, a long form video. And that's on my personal channel too. Those are mostly what my videos are. They're long form videos. And a long form video can be defined different ways, but usually it's like 8 minutes or longer, up to however long. Like I'm recording this one now and we're over like 20 minutes. All right. So it could be really any length I consider over 8 minutes. And the reason I say 8 minutes, technicality, 8 minutes is that's when YouTube starts putting mid-roll ads in your videos. So it just adds a little bit to the revenue piece of it when it comes to that, if that's a direction that you want to go. But anyway, that was a total side note, not important about length, but long form videos, because long form videos, like if you think of a traditional YouTube video that you've probably watched many times, or maybe it's a podcast episode, right? Maybe it's a podcast that you're watching, listening to, that would be considered long form video. But what that does is it starts building a deep trust with your viewers. Short form is great for awareness, right? Like great for awareness, getting the word out, maybe like quick hit thoughts, little things here and there that hit. Usually those short forms are the ones that go viral. But to really build that trust, it's long form video that lives on YouTube. And what YouTube is going to do, and this is the reason that we're hitting those like same topics over and over and over and speaking to the same people over and over and over, is because that really trains the YouTube algorithm to find the right audience for your videos. You don't need to worry about like, oh, is the algorithm going to do this, that, whatever. If you are making those videos about those topics to those people, the YouTube algorithm is going to find the audience for those videos. So you just got to keep hammering away. You just got to keep going. Go. 6 months, make the same types of videos about the topics for those specific people over and over and over. And long form video is really going to develop trust amongst your viewers. But here's the thing. What we do here with our clients at the Video Lab is like we kind of build more of what we'd call like a video ecosystem based on the long form video. So we'll have somebody come in, we'll do 3 hours here in the studio. We record 4 long form videos, whether that's podcasts or more of what you would consider like a traditional YouTube video. And so you have that long form video, you put one of those out every week. So there's a piece of content right there. Those are going to live evergreen on YouTube. And we want them to, kind of like complement search results, right? So we'll optimize those for search results. You can link them on your website, those types of things. But what we're doing from there is we're taking elements of that long form video and we're creating all of the other content for the week from that long form video. And so it really creates like a video, what I call a video ecosystem that is basically creating all of this content around your thoughts and the people that you're talking to, right? So from that long form video, just thinking like a week process, right? So like week to week. So week 1, you have your long form video that goes out on a certain day. We take clips from that long form video. That's your short form video that we toss on YouTube Shorts, but also other platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, whatever platform that you'd want to use for that, as long as they're reaching the right people, right? Your target audience. Then we take the transcript, we create a blog post from that. So then one day, a blog post goes up on your website. We link the video, the long form video, but it's all the same talking points. That blog post is all the same thoughts, talking points based off of your video. And then a newsletter, right? A newsletter that complements everything else that's going on during the week. Then we can create infographics, LinkedIn text posts, right? A lot of times, we can take behind the scenes photos here in the studio and you take those same thoughts as text, put it with a photo on LinkedIn, chef's kiss, right? So it's this video ecosystem that is all moving in the same direction for your content. You're not doing a random short over here about this topic. You're not doing a random short over there about that topic. Again, it's like a random little cute industry inside joke over here and then something over here. It's all like a wheel that gets turning and the momentum builds. The ecosystem starts like taking hold, and these platforms then are finding the right audience for your videos. None of it really matters though if you're not generating leads. So how do you generate leads with all of this video content? Well, that's where it comes down to the call to action, right? So in a long form video like this, for example, my call to action would be go down to the description and click on the video scorecard. You'll be able to score your company where you're at. It's free. First of all, it's free. You can score your company, see where you're at when it comes to video content based on our strategy that we use here at the Video Lab. You score yourself against that, and then we can further the conversation from there if you want. We can book a discovery call. But here's the thing. When you download that video brand scorecard, we collect your email address, right? So that's key. The call to action is you want to lead them to something to collect their email address. That's what it comes down to. That's your warm lead. That's then what you nurture through email. And there's a whole another process that's not for this video, but there's a whole nother process that we can get into when it comes to nurturing those leads. So you need to capture leads. You don't just want people seeing the videos, even though they might share it, might send it along to somebody. You need to capture their emails. That's what it comes down to. And then you nurture that email list. That email list becomes your customer list. So I'm not against going viral, right? I'm not against going viral. I think if it happens, that's great. There's been moments, where it's more than worked out for people, for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. Going viral is not a bad thing, but it's not always a good thing either. And so the approach that we take is just a little bit different, really dialing in who you're talking to, focusing over and over on 1 to 3 main topics in your videos. And and then using long form video, YouTube specific long form video to build your video ecosystem. And then it all comes down to the call to action and collecting the emails that you can turn into sales based off that customer list. So if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments and we can get a conversation started down there. But that's going to be it for this video. Hope to see you in the next one.